My name is Michael. I am the owner of Hebron Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. We're a small town gym. We have about 1,000 people that live in my hometown. So very much like Mayberry. If you don't get that reference, you should probably study up on some more American culture. So I haven't done too many podcasts yet, and I think the reason is because I just haven't felt like I found something that is important enough to talk about. But man, was I kind of foolish in thinking that. Because there's always something important to talk about, it seems like. But we never find reason to actually sit down and talk about these things until, well, it's too late. Obviously, there's no shortage of news about mental health issues right now, mental health crisis, helping people in those positions, what we could do better, how we could implement things to not affect the innocent. I don't know about you, but it really seems like to me the trust in institutions that are designed to take care of these kinds of problems and provide oversight don't. The trust is not there. Most people can't trust the media, can't trust the government, can't trust companies. It's hard to trust just about anything other than your own capabilities and your own interest. That sounds pretty selfish. And you know what? I think when you focus on yourself, in the beginning, it may feel a little selfish. But the reality is, if you're only giving half of your best, the people around you are not receiving the benefit that they deserve of your full capabilities. We'll get to that in a minute. I really want to talk about this 23-year-old Ukrainian girl that was brutally attacked on a subway. And there was a number of people on this public transportation. There was not a number of people that stepped up to do anything. We have a big problem in this country. Everybody has an idea of what it's like to be the quote unquote man that everybody needs, but it seems like their words are bigger than their actions. Very few people are actually going through the steps to make sure they are the best and most capable versions of themselves in any way. I understand when people say MMA is just not my thing. Muay Thai is just not my thing. Jiu-Jitsu is just not my thing. Safety is. And we can live in this fairy tale bubble and pretend that things are not going to happen to us. And I hope to God that they don't. But if they happen around you, are you going to be a coward in the shadows? Or are you going to stand up and try to intervene in a situation to protect the innocent? There is an image that's burned in my brain now of the moment that this girl looked back at her attacker. And it was just to me, I know she was a 23-year-old young lady, but I saw a scared little girl and nobody there to protect her on American soil. So we've sold a lie in this country. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Where is it? Where can we find that? Because this young girl escaped a war and then thought that she was safe over here and was doing good things and was in college and just coming home from work. And then somebody that has been involved in the judicial system many, many times over, and you can't pretend that they didn't know he had a mental health issue. You knew that, but it's easier to push off responsibility and say it's not my problem, not my job. And so we let this guy out repeatedly, knowing that he has issues and he could harm somebody else, knowing that. Okay, so there should be repercussions for people who make mistakes of that nature and knowingly make those mistakes continuously, even though things like this continue to happen. So, where is the oversight for the judicial side of things? Another topic for another time. I have a tattoo blasted across my chest. I got it when I was 19 years old in a maximum security prison. Um, I had just I had escaped from jail when I was 18. First got arrested when I was 17. I was charged as an adult the entire time. Served 4.5 years. I was sentenced 6 years, 8 months to 9 years. Long story short, a learning experience happened for me from 17 to 24. And that was, it didn't really matter what people said to me. It was on me and my effort to determine what became of my life, what my capabilities were. Now, let me give you a little backstory on that. Before I went to prison, my goal was to go to the military. Because I didn't make the right choices, the obvious answer to that was no, not going to happen. Here was my hang up with it. It felt like they were telling me, no, you can't be this quality of person that we need to fill that uniform. That wasn't what they said, but that's what it felt like. So I internalized that. Fit for duty isn't some cool catchphrase. I'm not a cop. I'm not a police officer. I'm not in the military. Fit for duty is something that has to do with that flag behind me. It has to do with having honor. Fit for duty means that my effort decides what capabilities I have. My effort in martial arts is obvious because it gets to be shown in the cage, on the mats, on a daily basis. My effort to understand medical is obvious because I can now help other people to do that themselves. My effort to improve myself on a consistent basis, to try to walk the line of the quote unquote modern warrior. Do I get it perfect? No, I don't. Nobody does. But I'm not sitting on my lazy ass and expecting other people to protect me, other people to provide for my family, and just hoping that nothing bad happens to the people around me. I don't understand where that kind of benevolence came from. For a country that talks about justice and equality so damn much, we achieve so very little. And I know everybody wants to talk about economic disparities, the mental health crisis. Good. Yeah, we need to have those conversations too. But the ultimate reality is you as the individual, when are you going to step up for yourself and your family? Because if you can't do that, there's no sense in pointing the finger at somebody else and saying that they need to change something in their system to improve our lives. No, you need to change something in your life to improve your life. And everybody needs to do that across the board. And that will improve the status quo. Individually, we've forgotten what it means, or maybe we didn't know at all, what it means to be an American citizen. What a privilege it is, really, to be born in this country, to have the abilities that we have. And how unfortunate is it that most people throw every opportunity out the window? There's never been a better time to learn and adapt and become more and greater and better and affect people around you in a better way. But so very few do it. Everybody offers an opinion, and I'm of the opposite respect. I have done a massive amount of work before I've gotten to this point. I went from prison to building 3, 4 companies, and now I can help other people because I've gotten myself into a stable position in 10 years. I'm only 35 years old. I haven't had a lot of time to work with, but I tell you what, as soon as those doors opened, I was running towards my future. And I still am. There's a giant magnet in my heart that pulls me forward. I know exactly where I'm going. I don't know what that road looks like, but I know exactly which direction I'm being pulled in, which is why I make this podcast today. Fit for duty. What does that mean to me? It means that we take individual accountability. Because what's the ultimate reality of modern society today? Globally, not just in the United States. Do we fight all wars with a rifle or a drone or a jet? No. The biggest war is the hearts and minds of the civilians. Nobody can convince me otherwise. So here's the deal. It's no longer on the military to protect you in that sense. The police department is not going to help you safeguard your own heart and your own mind. Figure out how to improve your capabilities, how to make it so that if the power shuts off, do you have enough food to last for a few months? General preparedness question, right? Are you self sustainable in any way? If not, that's a problem. You're dependent. Dependency, well, we all know how that can be taken advantage of. And I think over the years, we've all grown pretty dependent on systems outside of our own personal ability. Do I think one person can do everything? No, I don't. I understand um, the ability of a human to achieve things. I am a owner, builder, contractor, gym owner, father. There's a lot of things that I have to do that I just don't have time for. One person cannot do everything, but one person can do something. Every person can do something. And if collectively every person can do something, that would make us all a little bit more fit for duty. It's all of our duties to live up to this flag. There is blood that's been shed for it. There is blood that will continue to be shed for it. It's kind of our obligation to be the best possible American. It's kind of our duty to make sure that our next generations are not the ones that are going to have the hardest time. If we need to have the hard conversations now so that they can live a little bit easier, let's do that. So, this individual that's on the train stabs this young lady in the neck. Does anybody tackle him? Does anybody attempt to secure him in place? No. Where is the sense of duty? My thought is that we all need to kind of collectively step the fuck up. Man or woman, it does not matter. If you are an American citizen, you have a duty to protect the people to your left and to your right. I don't expect that everybody's going to turn into a fucking vigilante, okay? Pardon my cursing. But I do think that we should take physical preparedness a little bit more serious, collectively. I think that there should be more of an emphasis on health, wellness, mental health, certainly, but let's not exclude the fact that mental health begins in the gut. What we put into our bodies, how we treat our bodies, matters a lot in how we respond emotionally to things. Some people were never taught any of those things. In fact, many of the most important things that you need to survive in today's world, in a good manner, anyways, are not taught in schools. That's up to the individual parents to teach those things. I think there's been a lot of emphasis on inclusivity, understanding people's emotions, and trying to silence the people that talk like me, that are a little bit rougher around the edges, that maybe have had a little bit more darkness in their past, that want to bring light to the future and don't want to see preventable things happen. Do I think that all stabbings are preventable? No, I do not. I don't believe that all murders are preventable. I don't believe that jiu-jitsu is a silver bullet that prevents people from doing bad things. No, there's still a chance that you're going to get stabbed, but it's still kind of your duty to make sure that that innocent girl who cannot protect herself is not harmed any further. Passivity has gotten to be just absolutely ridiculous. There's no mental vigilance, there's no community awareness, there's no moral courage. We don't have systems that support community strength. The justice system does not implement the things that they say they stand for. And then there's no repercussion for judges when they don't do the job that they're hired to do. Isn't that amazing? Repercussions for us, but not for them. Collective responsibility of the civilians as a whole. It's not on the military to fight this war. It's not on the police to make sure you're safe. Average response time is 7 minutes. Can you fight for 7 minutes? Have you even shot your gun for 7 minutes in the last year? Even if the police could make it there in 30 seconds, most of them cannot fight. So they are bound to the tools that they have. Sometimes that just doesn't work well. All I'm saying, there is no magic ending to all of this. Individual accountability has kind of went out the window. Collective responsibility is no longer a topic that we discuss. Fit for duty is no longer, has maybe never been, a shared responsibility. Fit for duty to me means a lot, and I'm going to continue to do what I do. I went to prison. I could have just opened a construction business, sat in the shadows, collected money, and lived my life, and that's it. But instead, I opened a jiu-jitsu gym. I'm here trying to help people improve their capabilities in so many ways. It's the only thing that I do. It's the only thing that I'm focused on. And to be honest, it's the only thing that got me through prison. If it wasn't for this right here, things may have been different for me. I went in at 17, got out when I was 24. It was not a fun time. It was not an easy time. It was shitty. I regret how my actions hurt other people. I do not regret going to prison because if it wasn't for that, I would not be here talking to you today. I'm going to end with this. Fit for duty may not mean much to most of you. It may mean something to some of you. But I hope you at least listen to this and think about it a little bit. Not everybody can do everything. I don't expect everybody to come in here and sign up for Muay Thai the next day. I don't expect everybody to go out and get a concealed carry and start training like John Wick. But you can do something to be more aware in your community, for your family, for yourself. You can take a little bit of individual accountability. And collectively, maybe, hopefully, we can start to live up to some of the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that we claim. That's it. That's all I got, guys. Blue Collar Corner. I'm out.